Hello.
So, a couple people had said they wanted us to talk in a British accent through an entire video, so we thought we would try to read some scary short stories in a British accent.
Indeed.
Indeed. I'm not very good at it. Okay. You want to read the first one or you want me to do it?
I don't care.
Okay. Number 1. Mommy's home.
Oh, no.
Mummy. Mummy.
Mummy, I need my tea and crumpets.
I heard a father lying in his bed. After just waking up, he grabs the baby monster and walks to his desk in his office at home. He has his baby on the baby monitor and hears his wife singing to her. He cracks a smile as he hears his wife go to sleep. I'm changing my accent.
That was Irish. Whoa.
Go to sleep. When suddenly the front door opens up and his wife comes home with the groceries. Scary.
That was very good, love.
Oh no! You're just a little longer.
Oh no. Pretending to be asleep doesn't work. Here's one that scared the living shit out of me when I was younger. A boy is sleeping in his bed on an unusual night. He hears footsteps outside his door and peeks out of his eyes to see what is happening. His door swings open quietly to reveal a murderer carrying the corpses of his parents. Oh. After slightly propping them up on a chair, he writes something on the wall in the blood of the dead bodies. He then hides under the child's bed. What kind of story is this?
It's a scary story.
The child is scared beyond belief. He can't read the writing on the wall and he knows the man is under his bed. Like any child, he pretends that he slept through the whole thing and hasn't awoken yet. He lays still on the bodies, quietly hearing the breaths from under his bed. Another hour passes and his eyes are adjusting more and more to the darkness. He tries to make out the words, but it's a struggle. He gasps when he finally makes out the sentence. I know you're awake. He feels something shift underneath his bed. Oh, run, child, run.
What's in the basement? Mommy never told me never go in the basement, but I wanted to see what was making that noise. It kind of sounded like a puppy, and I wanted to see the puppy, so I opened the basement door and tiptoed down a bit. I didn't see a puppy, and then Mommy yanked me out of the basement and yelled at me. Mommy never yelled at me before, and it made me sad, and I cried.
Oh.
Then Mommy told me never to go into the basement again. She gave me a cookie, and that made me feel better. So I didn't ask her why the boy in the basement was making noises like a puppy, or why he had no hands or feet.
Ooh!
Oh.
Them cookies fix everything. You can't go wrong with a cookie. Ten. A man leaves his house every morning to walk to work and passes a mental hospital surrounded by a wooden fence. My place. Every morning the patients are out in the yard and he can hear them in unison saying 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. One day he gets curious and looks through the hole in the fence. Suddenly a stick shoots out and pokes him in the eye. Fuck! He says to himself. While walking away pissed off, he can hear the patient saying 11, 11, 11, 11. Pokey pokey.
He got poked in the eye. Fuck! This one's fun. Yes. Yes. It's the name of the story. Stop dogs!
Hello.
When I was a child, my family moved to a big old 2-floor-story house with big empty rooms and creaking floorboards. Both my parents worked, so I was often alone when I came home from school. One early evening when I came home from the house, it was still dark. I am not talking in a British accent. I called out, "Mum, Mum," and heard her sing-song voice say, "Yes?
Yes?
From up the stairs. I called her again as I climbed the stairs to see which room she was in and got the same "yes" reply.
Yes?
We were decorating at the time, and I didn't know my way around the maze of rooms, but she was in one of the far ones right down the hall. Knock it off!
Knock it off! Stop it! No!
I felt uneasy, but I figured that it was only natural, so I rushed forward to see my mum. Knowing
I love Mum.
knowing that her presence would calm my fears. I'm just going back to Irish again.
Calming my fears.
Shut up!
Are you alright? Are you alright, Crumpet?
No! So I rushed forward to see my mum, knowing that her presence would calm my fears, as my mother's presence always does. Just as I reached for the handle of the door to let myself in the room, I heard the front door downstairs open. My mother calls, "Sweetie, are you home?"
Sweetie?
in a cheery voice. I jumped back, startled, and ran down the stairs to her. But as I glanced back from the top of the stairs, the door to the room slowly opened a crack. For a brief moment, I saw something strange in there, and I didn't know what it was. But what it was staring at me.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no!
All I saw was red.
All I saw was red. I checked into a small hotel a few kilometers from Kiev. It's late. I am tired. I tell the woman at the desk, "I want a room." She tells me room number and give key. But one more thing, comrade. There is one room without a number and always locked. Don't even peek in there. I take key and go to room to sleep. Night comes and I hear trickling of water. It comes from the room across. I cannot sleep, so I open the door. It is coming from room with no number. I pound on door. No response. I look in the keyhole. I see nothing except red. Water still trickling. I go down to the front desk to complain. But by the way, who is in the room? She looked at me and began to tell a story. There was a woman in there, murdered by her husband. Skin all white except her eyes, which were red. Red, red, red. Ooh.
Solo camping trip.
What is that? Yikes.
A woman survivalist and trained outdoors guide who loves to go solo camping returns home from 2 weeks of being in the bush and not seeing a single soul.
Did that just tickle your pink?
Develops a disposable camera film to find a whole roll of film with numerous pictures of her sleeping at night. On different nights. She's never gone hiking or camping since.
Oh my gosh. Be cautious of car crashes. There was a story about how a guy was driving through the mountains, ex-army, and came across a crash. The car wasn't damaged at all and almost deliberately placed in the middle of the road. He drove past and saw 2 people lying in the road. He pulls up from the crash and looks back to see the people sat up and 20 or so reflecting in his taillights from the surrounding bushes. He slams on the gas and goes. This story scares me because this kind of thing does happen with mountain tribes who are earlier cannibalistic or crazy. That was either cannibalistic or crazy. I don't like them cannibals.
Isn't there like an accent tag we can do too?
Indeed.
Maybe we should look that up.
This one.
Bam! I think we're gonna look up the accent tag. That was our British storytelling.
Indeed. Goodbye, loves.
Doodles.